Hey everyone, I'm Alex the Brick Guy, and welcome to the final episode of Building a Lego Mall, where today we're going to be checking out the fully completed mall, which has 18 different stores and businesses inside it, and is 4 stories tall, so it is pretty awesome. So let's get right into looking at it. Alright, so we're going to be looking at this floor by floor. Let's start off by just look at the roof. Nothing too special about this. I did use a few weird colors like green, blue, and red because I was starting to run out of these like big plates I could use because I was using them on all these other floors. So all I really had left was like green and just some random colors and a couple of gray ones. So that's why it's multicolored like that. But it doesn't really matter. You can see we've got a couple of skylights to add light. We got this little one where I use these cool round pieces. And it has this, which is supposed to be kind of like where the mall sign would be, but I never really put a mall sign on there. And then we've also got these other skylights right here that look into the food court. There's a little food court sign on there. Then on the other side there's an Old Navy sign. And this looks pretty cool. I like how these windows turned out. Gives a pretty good view. And they're slightly tinted, so they're kind of like blue. So I like that about that. And yeah, the roof does look pretty good. And the roof pops right off like that to give easy access into the next floor we're going to be looking at, which is the 4th floor, aka the food court. This is one of my favorite floors. I love how all the restaurants turned out. We've got 5 different ones up here inside the food court. You can see up above, we've got the Tim Hortons, the Starbucks, the Panda Express, the Pizza Hut, and the Wendy's. And right here, we've got some bathrooms. And in the middle, we've got all the seating for our people eating at the Lego Mall. So first, let's look at Tim Hortons right here. This was a really good build. I used mainly pieces from the Lego City Donuts set from a little while ago. Like this little build right here is from it, and then the walls are. So that's pretty nice. You can see there's a little menu back there. It's a little coffee machine. Then, of course, all their baked goods. So yeah, it's definitely good. And it has a little front view from the street too. And then if we look beside that, that's where the bathrooms are. They look pretty nice. There's quite a bit of detail in it. If we turn this around and get a bit of a better view, you can see there's a toilet and a sink. Nothing too special. There's little doors that open up so they can easily get in there. And there's 2 of them. And beside that, we've got the Starbucks, which is nice. I love the color scheme for this build. It turned out really well. Got a little Starbucks sign up there. This little container right here. That's where the baked goods are supposed to be displayed. And in the back, there's a bunch of coffee cups and a little coffee machine. Looking to the back of the build right here, we've got some big windows looking out the back. I like how this turned out. I used some of these garage door pieces, and it gives a good view to the outside and adds more light to the interior of the food court. And then, looking to this side, we've got the Panda Express. This is one of my favorite builds. Right here, we've got a couple of windshields, and behind them is displayed all the stuff you can get. And then, looking at the inside, we've got a little stove, and we've got a little soda machine, and a couple of things in between. And then that brick there on the wall is supposed to be a menu because I tried printing out a menu for this, but it completely got messed up. I don't know why it wasn't printed properly, so instead I just put this brick. But it still looks like there's a menu there, so yeah. And beside that, we've got the Pizza Hut, another good build. There's a little display case right here where they would display some pizzas and stuff. There's a little cash register right there. And looking to the inside, there's a little grill and stuff, some pizza, and a little pizza box right there. Another brick I put on the wall, that's supposed to be the menu. Then we've got the Wendy's, another great build. I love how the red turned out on this. It's a really nice color for the Wendy's. And if we look on the inside, you can see we've got the little stove back there, the grill. That's where they would cook the burgers. And on the wall right there, it's a bit hard to see, but we've got a menu. And then there we've got some cups and a soda machine on the side. And we got a cash register right in there. And then throughout the rest is just a bunch of chairs. And we've got these 2 pillars, I think they're called, just to help support the roof so it doesn't collapse. And then right at the back right here, we've got the stairs to the next floor, the 3rd floor. So hopefully this will pop off easily like it's supposed to. So on the next floor, we actually have some stores and one restaurant. So a view from above will show you that we got a Build-A-Bear right here, a little Best Buy, a Old Navy, an Apple Store, and an Auntie Anne's. And there's a little pathway going down the middle, and we've got stairs right here that come up from the second level and go up here to the fourth level for the food court. So let's start off by looking at the front right here with the Build-A-Bear. This was a nice build. The color scheme looks like a real Build-A-Bear, and these windows in the front look nice with those little teddy bears there displaying the window. And we've got a little logo there. And then right here is the door for it. We've got another little sign and teddy bear out there for some reason. And when you go inside, you'll see a massive stuffed animal right there on display. This is a little dog build from a Lego set I have, and I liked how it looked, so I decided to use it in here. Right there is where we've got some of the stuffed animals you can buy and stuff displayed. And we've got some more over there. This is supposed to be those sound machines, so you'd record audio, or you could choose an audio to put inside your stuffed animal. And then over here, we've got the cash register with another Build-A-Bear sign over it. And this corner is my favorite build of the Build-A-Bear, which is the stuffing machine. This is where you'd come with your unstuffed stuffed animal, and then you'd fill it with a bunch of fluff. And that build is really awesome. I love how that turned out. And moving on, let's go right beside it to Auntie Anne's Pretzels. This is a tiny build, but turned out really cool. It's hard to get a good view of it, but here shows you the cool pattern I used on the bottom that's supposed to represent wood. Then if we look at the front, we can see where there's some pretzels displayed. And we've got our little worker in there beside the soda machine. So, very nice build, and it really fits well into the space, because if that wasn't there, it'd just kind of be an empty hallway. So, yeah, I really love how that is there. Next, let's move to the back here to Best Buy. This is a tiny Best Buy, kind of like a Best Buy Express, I guess you could call it. It doesn't have a, wall in the front. You can see all these other stores have, a wall and then some, windows. This one is completely exposed. I think it's the only store I made completely exposed like this. And why I did this was just because the walkway goes here, and I feel like it would be better just to leave it open, because if I were to put a wall here, you can see that's only 4 studs wide if I were to put a wall here, or even 3, because I want this walkway to be 3 wide. So it'd be very crammed in there, and I didn't really want that to happen, so I just left it open like that, and I love how it looks like that. On the one side, we've got some computers displayed. Builds for those are pretty nice. Got the cash register right there with the Best Buy sign behind it. And here we've got some phones displayed. These are supposed to be the cases for them. And then my favorite part about this is how I tiled out the whole floor. It looks so great like that. And the back here, there's of course the big Best Buy sign. And there's some windows looking into it. And of course, here's some signs for all the stores here on the 3rd floor. Next, let's move to the Old Navy. Here's the view from the outside. You can see it says Old Navy. There's a little advertisement in the window, and we've got some clothing displayed. And then if we look at the entrance from the mall, this looks pretty cool. I honestly love how the entrance looks for this. Old Navy sign is coming off a little bit, but I use these bricks behind it to give those colors they usually have behind the sign. Of course, in the windows, we've got more advertisements. And this window, we've also got another mannequin. And this door opens up and brings you into the Old Navy right here, which is one of my favorite stores inside the mall. Here we've got one clothing rack, which looks cool. I used a bunch of low bricks to add detail, make it look like there's clothing stacked up. And same thing for this little shelf that's supposed to be with clothing too. Behind that, we've got our changing rooms. Nothing really in there. Just go to try on stuff. And then we've got a little mannequin in the window there, or other mannequins in the window there. And right here, we've got our cash register, which is nice. Right here is kind of like where you'd pay. Right here is where the employee would have a computer for the cash register and stuff. So yeah, that was a good build. I like how that one turned out. Next up, we got the Apple Store. Let's look at it from the front. We've got the big Apple logo right here. And we've got the Apple Store sign right above there. And then right here above this door, we've got another sign. And this door doesn't fully open up, but does just enough for a minifigure slide through and enter in. So you can see right there, we've got a little table with a bunch of cell phones displayed. We've got one that you can actually like see it out of its box. Here's supposed to be a little display case where they display some of their products. And here, like I said, for the Best Buy, these are supposed to be phone cases. We've got some more phones on display that you can try out. And the window right here, I've got some phone cases. And then right here, I've got a cash register, which I like the build for the cash register I used. It looks nice. And yeah, that's it for the third floor. Looks great. Let's move on now to the second floor, which is also a great one. So let's just easily comes off right here. And now we've got the second floor right here, which is also another awesome floor. This one includes 4 different businesses, one of them being a restaurant, the other 3 being stores. So let's look at from the front here and start off with the Volcom store. This is a cool store. I like how the front turned out with this sign I made that actually sticks up above the second floor and goes up to the third floor. Then these like brown pieces I used right here, and how I put the window in by half a stud. It just looks really nice. Then this side also looks cool because I also put this in by a stud, the window. And then like there's these pillars on the side, and we got the door right there. In the window, of course, there's just some advertisements for Volcom. And we've also got some mannequins displaying clothing you can buy. And right here is the door, of course, which opens up and leads customers into the inside. Right back here, we've got our skateboard rack, all the different skateboards you can buy. And right over there, we've got the cash register where you'd pay. And we've got a little shelf right here with some clothing displayed. And right here, we've got another tiny little shelf right there. And then we've got our mannequins. And the window fell off right here, so let's just put that back on. There we go. And next up, let's move on over here to the Cinzio. This is what I accidentally kept calling Cinnabon when I made the videos on it, but it is a Cinzio. And if we look right here at the inside, I love the builds I used for this. I think we might be able to get a better view from here. Not really. I'll show you the best I can. This right here is supposed to be a soda machine. Then we've got some fresh cinnamon buns, fresh out of the oven, out on the counter. Here's supposed to be a little display case where they'd put the cinnamon buns and store them until someone buys them. And right here is supposed to be the oven or whatever they use to cook the cinnamon buns. We've got a little bottle up there for extra detail. And right here is more display cases where they display even more cinnamon buns. And I've also added a little table and chairs right outside. So anyone that orders cinnamon buns can eat right here instead of having to walk up to the food court on the 4th floor. And this little tree fell right here. But if we make our way across, we will find the Lego store. Of course, you can't make a Lego mall without a Lego store. That just wouldn't make sense. So I added one. This is probably the most requested store to add. I think like every single store or restaurant I've added, I only got 1 request. But this one I got 5 requests for. So it was a pretty popular build. And it definitely turned out great. We got some Lego logos up there. And then the door kind of opens up. This kind of blocks it. But minifigure can just squeeze in there. And it looks great on the inside right here. This, I used lots of the builds from the Lego store gift with purchase set from a few years ago. But lots of it I also built too. Right back here is their pick-a-brick wall, which looks great. It's right behind the cash register right there. We've got a little Lego big, and then we've got some little bricks in there. And on the walls, we've got a ton of sets displayed. Like, we've got some modular buildings, one like a little display case right there, and a bunch of Lego sets. Most of them, I think, are vehicles. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And these little glass pieces right here are supposed to be display cases. So that's where they would display some of the Lego sets. Then up here is just some minifigures. And I had to add this. This is from the gift with purchase set. And why I add it is because there's sometimes when you go to a Lego store, they'll have a gigantic Lego build inside. So that's what this is supposed to be. So yeah, it looks really nice. They've got a massive Lego brick right there in the middle. And if we move on to the last store on the second floor here, we've got Hot Topic. This one's one of my favorites from the front. I really love the brick design of Hot Topic. It looks so great. And the inside of this build also turned out pretty cool. So right above there, we got the Hot Topic sign, some advertisements in the window. And on the front window right here, we've got more advertisements and another sign. And this store, I use lots of these black bricks, which really looks nice. If you look inside there, it really looks so great. I love that color scheme. This door opens up slightly, enough for a LEGO person to slide in. And we've got a little table there in the middle where there's some products displayed and a little advertisement. It's a bit hard to see. There's a little better view of it. A little advertisement there. Here we've got some clothing, which you can find many different varieties right there. And they have a little clearance sale going on right now for them. And right here is supposed to be their t-shirt wall. If you've ever been into a Hot Topic, you know they have that massive wall with all the t-shirts displayed. That's what that's supposed to be. Here we've got the little cash register, which was a nice build. Got a little advertisement back behind there. And looking over here, we've got another table with a bunch of clothing on it. And right under there, just supposed to be some extra stuff that they'll get out once all this stuff sells out. And there's a little mannequin there in the window. So that's the second floor, one of my favorite floors, honestly. And one last thing I forgot to show you is just some of the details in the middle. So a little garbage can, a bench, and then I built this in the middle to add some life to the mall. Just add some like greenery and stuff. Really looks nice. In the back here, we've got the stairs going up to the third floor and coming up from the first floor. And yeah, that's it for the second floor. Now this floor should easily pop off and reveal the first floor where it all started. Alright, so this is the first floor. This is where it all started on January 2nd. I had the idea to build LEGO Mall. I built the subway. And then after that, I slowly built more and more until about a week or two ago when I had finished building all the stores and it became complete. This floor is pretty cool. Definitely not as cool as the other floors for like what I did in the center here and a couple of things. But a couple of the stores do look good, but definitely not my most favorite floor, but it's still turned out pretty good. Let's start off by looking at the front here at Subway. This is a few people's favorite builds. This one looks really nice. We've got the little Subway logo right there. And right here we've got the front window with some ads and the Subway sign up there. And look on the side right here, we've got another little window with some more ads and our door right back here, which opens up. It's a little bit stuck because of this brick sticking out right here. But that opens up and welcomes you into the Subway. This one's more of a tiny one, so there's no eat-in areas in here. So you can only order a sandwich, but whatever. Right here, we've got all the different stuff displayed, like cheese, meat, tomatoes, lettuce, everything you could ever possibly want on your sandwich. Right back there, we've got the chips that you can get with your sandwich. Then we've got a little cash register right there. A big sandwich poster there on the wall. Back here, we've got all their stuff they have for baking the bread and everything and toasting it. This is supposed to be like a little toaster right down here. This is supposed to be where they bake the bread. There's a little grill right here too. Some cups. And right here is the display case where all these sandwiches would be displayed. So you can choose like what bread you want and they take it out of there. And we've got a menu on the back right there. This is such a good build, and honestly I've got to say it might be my second favorite in the mall. And looking over here, we've got the Spirit Halloween. I just had to add this because Spirit Halloween is one of my favorite stores. And of course someone did comment that I should add one, so I did. Right there in the window, we've got one of these posters that you see in the window for every Spirit Halloween displaying costumes they sell. And we've got the sign on there. And looking on the back, we've also got a big Spirit Halloween sign displayed. If we look at the inside right here, you can see a big Spirit sign on the wall right there. We've got a little cash register right there. We've got an animatronic witch there in the corner. And if we look over here, this is supposed to be a bunch of decorations for sale. You can see there's some spiders, bats, gargoyles, everything you could possibly want, they've got it. And then right here, I did create my own little ISC for a Spirit Halloween. I didn't make one from real life, but this one still turned out really cool. It's supposed to be a little graveyard, and we've got like a little Pumpkin Man animatronic right there and a skeleton. But yeah, Spirit Halloween turned out pretty cool. And yeah, it's really nice. Looking over here, we've got the GameStop. I think this was my first request I got for what I should add to the Lego Mall. Looking inside, you can see it's a tiny location, but it turned out awesome. If we look on the sidewall right here, we've got all the PS5 games. You can see each little stud is supposed to represent a different game. I really love how it turned out. It looks like the video game wall in an actual GameStop. If we look at the other side, there's even more games. Here we've got the Nintendo and the Xbox section. And right down there, we've got a little box right there to represent just kind of like they're restocking the shelves right now a bit. And there in the middle, we have a little other shelf. And we've got the cash register right over here, which looks nice. It's fallen a bit back all the way there. There we go. Right back here on the back is supposed to be all the gaming consoles you can get, because I always store them behind the counter where no one can steal them. And there's a little cash register right there. So definitely a great build. And lastly, we've got my favorite build of them all, Marshalls. This one, there's just so much cool stuff about it. The builds I used on the inside look extraordinary. And then just that blue and white color scheme I used just makes the build look so great. And just making it my favorite. So of course we got the Marshall sign right above there and a little advertisement that they're having a clearance sale on some products right now. Inside you can see the Marshalls. And look in these windows right here, we've got some mannequins with clothing displayed. Another little Marshall sign and the door, which is supposed to open. There we go. And that welcomes you into the inside. I think this is, yeah, it might be my biggest store I have. First of all, we got the little cash register right here, where you can see there's some products displayed right beside it. Right here, we've got the little cash register. And we've got the big Marshall sign right back there. Cash register looks so much like it does in real life. These mini builds I used to here just look so great. If we look right here, we've got the little table. There's a bunch of products on here. You can see we've got some seasonal stuff like a bat, little frog for the summer. And then we got some shoes right on there. And underneath we got just some other stuff. We got this like box right here. And then over on this wall, we've got a shelf with a whole bunch of random products. There's a whole bunch of just stuff you can buy there because, you know, when you go to Marshall's, they always just have a whole variety of stuff displayed. So that's what I did here. Just a whole variety of different things. And yeah, that is my Marshalls. So with all of that, I guess that's really it for my Lego Mall. This was definitely a fun series to do for January, and I can't wait to do my next series for February. But yeah, that will be it. I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.